Hello. We are here. It is
Oh,
Danielle and Heather, and we are doing the true cost of paradise for relocation to Florida people. And today we are covering our very favorite subject. Do you want to tell them what it is, Danielle?
no, you can tell them. I'm
Why? I
excited.
want you to be like dogs. Really, just all pets. Really, all of them because we love them all. But I think the dogs have the toughest transition. Like most people I know that have cats, they're like indoor cats and any other kind of crawling animals that people have don't really get as affected as dogs. So, but the transition with a pet is super important. There's things that you need to know. So, we are going to go through all of the things that you need to look out for and kind of have on your radar for pets as you're transitioning down here to Paradise. And we also have a free giveaway. So at the end, you can just download it and it's like a checklist where you can, make sure that you're doing all the right things on your way, planning, whether you're months out or it's happening, sweetheart. You can have your little checklist to check it off. So, what are we going to start with? There's so many good things here, but I got to put my glasses on to talk to you guys. Getting old isn't fun. So we're going to talk about what exactly is required to get over the Florida state line, not like they're checking you in, but to be legal with your animals. And then your road trip, the heat, and your rest stop plan. We also are going to talk about why you want to book a Florida vet 60 to 90 days ahead of time. Super important. And I might even say more than 90, depending on the vet that you choose. And then Florida's 4 hazards that every new dog is going to meet. Hopefully not meeting all of them, but it is a possibility. So you want to be aware of them because things that slither and crawl are not everywhere that people move from. I know I was very surprised when I met half of them. But so let's start off with, have you met them? Like what was your transition with you when you moved here? Did you ever meet that toad? Sorry, I gotta pause.
No, but
I
I
know.
did. I'm from, Michigan, and when I came here, it was in 2000, and I didn't plan for not. I was very young. Um, but I did have a cat, but she was indoor, so
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
really, have anything.
They like
Um,
turning the hair up.
Yeah, the only like what I loved at the time because I lived in an apartment was we had a porch and then they put a screen up so she could like hang out,
Yeah.
outside with the screen. Um, but it wasn't until later on when I owned my own home and then had to start thinking about like all the, like there's a lot of stuff that you hear on the internet too, like well, I knew about the toads, and then there's the skinks. They don't let
Oh,
your
those
dogs
are
eat
so
those.
scary.
Yeah, and then of course when we bought a house with the freshwater canal in the back, um, my dad was started sending us videos about alligators climbing the fence, like to eat our dogs. If you're watching that, it's okay. But so
Little scared
yeah,
talk.
I mean, yeah, like, oh, maybe we shouldn't move there, but yeah. So
And did they
they
ever
have
like
not.
build in your backyard? Like, are they ever? They don't really
No,
like
we have.
people.
So I think that they probably would if we didn't have a fence, because we have seen them for sure. And my son and his friends they're Florida boys, they didn't, so they're all in the swamp and doing all the things that Florida boys do.
Yeah,
Um, so they're always doing, looking for snakes and alligators. They look for them
yeah.
instead of run from them or I'm scared of them, they look for them. But so they are there, but they have not came over my fence.
Yeah.
Um, and we have like we have a big dog, but we have a couple small dogs. And so they haven't, eaten them at this point. I think that if I think if we didn't have a fence, it would be different. Totally different.
I feel like they're kind of afraid of, not afraid. I just feel like they don't really want to deal with us. Unless it's like they're not hibernating, they're, what do you call that? The season where they're frisky.
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, my phone keeps going off right now. I just want to get rid of it. I mean, if you go to the Springs, you're definitely going to see them.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also think that there's other things that you should be more worried about other than alligators. I think they're cool. Like the first time I saw an alligator when I came down here, I was like, whoa, that thing is so historic looking, because they're really cool looking, whatever they are. My background is really going crazy. I don't know how to make it stop. So oddly enough, they did not mention snakes on here, which my face is now like.
Yeah, I mean, so I think the biggest transition, well, one of the biggest transitions from people that are coming from not Florida, is the bugs. We have there are so many bugs. And then the snakes. That's a big, especially with all the new construction, even in our area. One of my friends, she moved here from Illinois, and so she just randomly just sent me a picture. If you're watching, Joanna, hi, but she sent me a picture of it looked, first I think it was a snake. She had a snake in her house. It wasn't poisonous, so there's like the different snakes, like everybody freaks out about a snake, but some of the like black snakes and there's now are called rat snakes. Yeah. Those are good snakes. But she had a snake in her house.
With that analogy of a good snake when I first moved down here. And somebody like put me in my place. Like, people are serious about snakes here. Like, if you come down here, like somebody was posting like, what kind of snake is this? And I was like, one that needs to go back to hell where it belongs. And like 80 people like told me off. And I was like, well, I'll never go against a snake. But I kind of feel like that's where they belong, even if they're good.
Well,
I've learned my boundaries.
So I don't want any snakes. My son like loves kind of like reptiles, and he brought in. Okay. So the other big thing, jumping, is lizards. Like they see all those. What's up? My hair is like had this weird. Lizards are huge here, and then when in the freeze, the Keys, they're like falling from the sky. Sorry, that's a separate thing. But my son brought in a lizard into the house the other day, and he's like, look. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. It looks like a lizard. Yeah. And he's like, it's a gecko. So apparently there's cool kind of lizards that are geckos.
They have like the round things on their little, are they called paws? On their amphibians.
I don't know, but again, he's a Florida boy, so he knows all the things about this stuff. But he loves lizards, he loves reptiles, he loves snakes. He not that he like wants to like play with alligators, but he thinks they're super cool. He wants to like go alligator hunting, which we didn't. I mean, you're from New York. I didn't have anything like that in Michigan.
Yeah, alligators. I mean, there was snakes in New York, but not by where I was. Like, I was out on Long Island, and everything. We had deer.
Deer, and the deer up north are way bigger. They're way bigger than the deer down here. Like the deer in Michigan, I swear they're like close to double the size that they are here.
And they
can take out a whole car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are very tiny here, and they're cute though, because they're always, whenever I see them in my neighborhood, it's always the family of them. Like they sleep on the hill behind my house, and like the little baby, like it's always the family, you know, it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing,
So yeah, I think, go ahead.
I never met that toad. But my dogs now, my other dog, when I moved here, he didn't give a hoot about anything. That armadillo used to go in our backyard all the time, and he was kind of like, "What is that thing?" And we also saw a panther cross through our backyard one morning and didn't attack him. Like he was on the other side of the
He
human
must
bird.
have been somewhat big then.
Well, it was bigger than my dog, which was like the size of a German Shepherd at the time, and he had like a big long tail, and all the birds were like squawking, and I was like, what is going on? It was like the movie The Birds, they were getting louder, and all of a sudden this thing was just like sexy walking through the backyard. And it was hunting birds. Yeah, the birds were like letting him know, but he didn't care about me having my coffee, my dog standing out there, and it was like early morning, it was just getting light out. But later I had told my brother, I said, oh, we saw a bobcat today cross through our backyard. I was like, that thing was bigger than Buddha. And my brother, that was not a bobcat, because it was big, and it was probably brown. It looked black to me, but it was probably brown. And people are like surprised that they're seeing them. And we lived in Grand Haven at the time, and that thing walked right through our backyard, you know, right on the other side of the screen.
We're seeing them more, even more so now because of all the construction. Yeah. And I think that people, the other thing too, I think people will like, oh, well, I called Florida Wildlife and they won't do anything, and they won't. Yeah. So I think that's another thing to know. That kind of stuff happening here in Florida is very normal. So if you see a bobcat, if you see a snake, if you see an alligator, like that's normal. That's normal to see that. And if you call the police or, you know, the Florida Wildlife, like it doesn't mean necessarily that they're going to do anything. I think if they, and even like my husband, he worked for the Flagler County Sheriff's Office for almost 20 years. And they would get calls like if there were alligators or snakes. Like now, if it is threatening, you know, then of course you can call the sheriff's office. Most likely they might go, but they probably will call FWC. But otherwise, you just kind of, it's not an emergency here in Florida. It's just not considered an emergency. It's normal. People, like, I see them like even post like, oh, this was, you know, right near my house, like an alligator. Yes, there will be. That is like, there will be alligator anywhere in body of water. That's totally normal. You will see it. We had, even my son at his school, his old school, there was a big like pond, and there were alligators in there, and it's like it was in Car Rider, and people were freaking out because it's like, it's a body of water and there's going to be alligators. Yeah. Don't go in the water. Don't swim. Yeah. Don't take your dogs near the water. You know, that's a huge thing. And there was something about, my husband was telling me something like the bodies of water here in Florida, they're not like up north. And so, no, you don't want to swim in them. You know, the ocean is one thing. Springs, it's like, you know, yeah, if they're usually they're like coned off and swim. But like in that shrubbery part of any kind of, like the intercoastal or any kind of body of water here in Florida, you don't want to swim in it because there will be alligators and snakes in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was telling me, my husband was saying something about there was a couple of things where people were getting, like, they were swimming, and obviously they weren't from Florida, and they were swimming in bodies of water, and there were a lot of alligator attacks.
Yeah. And then it's on the news and you see that they ate the little dogs. Like they will eat your little dog. So if you have little dogs,
Yeah.
like even the hawks and the eagles are very big here. And
Yes.
if you just don't leave your dogs out unattended in the yard. Like that's the general rule of thumb. The other thing, because of the growth and all the building, there's a lot of wild boars, and they are very nasty. And we were walking in a trail the other day, and I thought someone was like making noise, but it was a bunch of wild boars. So we just turned around and got out because you can't really fight them, you know?
Yeah, and they're nasty. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they
yucky.
will like just thrust you in half with their little whatever that thing is called. They'll just like rip you in half. But if you're walking by yourself, it won't usually provoke them. But when you're walking with a dog, that will provoke them. So I just turned around. We were like
Coyotes.
I was speaking in tongues running out of the trail. I was like,
coyotes too. Coyotes are big.
Yeah.
Not so much in the city area.
Yeah. They don't really want to bother with us. I think they really all just want their peace. Like they want to share the land with us right now. Like we're all kind of like sharing the land, and with all of it disappearing, it's uprooting a lot of stuff. Yeah. I mean, snakes, just everything. Snakes. My biggest thing, because there's so many of them down here, was there's all these like poems and things to remember what snake is.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't know.
And the only thing I can ever remember is ketchup and mustard doesn't mix. So that snake that looks the same, and like one's like deadly and the other one isn't, like a coral snake or what's the other one? I forget the name of it. One's bad and one isn't.
Rattlesnake.
No, the rattlesnakes are bad too. You have like the water, the banded snake.
Moccasins are bad.
Yeah. So they're like, you could tell by the little patterns, but like me, I was like, how can you tell anything when you're running the other way? Because I'm not going to sit there and look at it. Like they're fast. You know what I mean?
Me neither. So get me out of here.
We would always see the scarlet or the coral snake. And you follow the rule. Usually things that are beautiful are like poisonous and bad, but they both look the same. And it's, if the red and the yellow is matching and doesn't have the black in between, the black in between is the nice, pretty snake. And then the one that's bad has ketchup and mustard together. So
is this stuff in our guide?
They didn't put the snake thing in the guide. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because ketchup and mustard. So I live by it, I swear. So, I mean, they were in the house. Like, I opened my garage door one morning and it was cold. When it gets cold here, the snakes try to come in. And I went to take my garbage out. It's like 5 a.m. and my door's open and I'm about to grab my garbage and something drops to the floor. And it was a rat snake, but it was yellow and red. It was one of the red ones. So I was like, like running back inside, and it went into my garage. It was hiding and stuff. I was like, now it's going to try to get in my house. And I was like, not sleeping that night, you know, but they try to get in when it's cold. So it was hanging out on my garage door and I opened it and it fell through. It fell on my head. I would have woke my whole block up.
So speaking of, so I don't know how, but I walked into my bedroom. It was like a couple weeks ago, and there was a frog. Like, what do you call, like on with the thing you rest your back on, on your bed. It was on my bed, on my thing, and it was a frog.
No.
And I was like, now, I have, thank God, I have like men in my house, so I'm like, Jeremiah, because again, he loves that kind of stuff, so he's like, I got it. And and even our neighbors, our old neighbors, they have relocated. they're a military family, but they used to call Jeremiah, can he come over here and get the lizard that's in our house? And he's like
It's hard to catch
professional.
when they're inside.
Girl, he is a professional lizard hunter. He can, I don't know what he does, but he catches them all the time. He can catch them.
They're really hard. And when they come in your house and they're stuck in there, they just die, like they wilt and everything.
Yeah.
Like I chase them around with like a cup and like something to put under the cup.
Yeah.
I literally asked Jesus to help me because like, and when I do, like he helps me and then I can catch them, but like you'll chase them around. And like, if you have cats, like the cats are helping you chase them because they're like, ooh, food, early food,
So my dogs, most of my dogs, not Axel, but the other dogs, they chase them in the backyard and they will eat them. I feel bad because lizards they don't hurt anybody. They don't do anything wrong, but my dogs they eat them. They like kill them. It's
these two try to catch them. They knock on wood. None of them have caught any yet. But if I'm walking, they dragging me.
They try to get them. Yeah. A lot of, so the other thing is like roaches. People get freaked. And I didn't even really like the palmetto bugs and the roaches because even up north, like in Michigan, we didn't have that. So I think that's one thing to prepare, and probably get pest control if you don't have, once you move here to have, I have pest control. If you maintain, you don't want to leave stuff out like in the house, and you want to make sure that you clean it up because bugs will come because the bugs are just in animals, pets. It's just more. There's a lot more of it here in Florida. But having pest control is good. I have one that it comes like once a year and they spray all throughout my house or on the outside and termite. And then if I want them to come inside and spray inside, they can. Typically, I haven't unless like one time there was like one roach in my kitchen and I freaked out. And so then they came and like sprayed, but that's been like.
Yeah, the roaches don't travel alone. they're party bugs.
I have not seen it since. It's gone now. But.
If you see one, you know that their pack is like somewhere behind. They live in your walls. They're so disgusting. But you brought up termites, and it's very important. If you're looking for a house, concrete block, you don't need a termite bond. But if you get a wood frame house, you need a termite bond for your insurance. So that was. Yeah, I didn't even think to talk about termites and roaches because they're a whole different thing. And pantry bugs.
Oh, it happened to me. And I didn't even know what that was. I was pregnant.
They're disgusting.
And I had those things. Yeah. And I've never heard of such a thing because, being from up north, I had no idea. I was pregnant and I had they were in like the rice in my box of rice.
Mm-hmm. They're in a lot of stuff and they're absolutely disgusting. Like I threw out a ton of stuff because I was looking in it and I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Like if the rice had any kind of like anything in there, I was like, it's out, throw it out.
Oh yeah. But, I completely gutted my whole This is in my other house, completely gutted my whole pantry. And I threw like everything away. I put everything in plastic containers because I didn't know it was in a box, like in a bag, but somehow, maybe it came from the store and they were in there. I don't know how it all works, but I heard, and maybe, I don't know if you, is having bay leaves. So big, huge bay leaves, having an open, like putting that in a cup and setting it on a shelf is supposed to keep them away.
I'm going to try that because I had a pest control guy come here and he was super nice. He like explained the whole thing to me, but he was like, they're in the bag. So then when you open it, then they kind of hatch out. And I had bought like a big bag of a big box of dog bones. And it was like in the plastic that like, I would just, ravel it back up and tie it under and where are they all coming from? And I went to take the box and I just saw them crawling I was like in the garbage. It was disgusting. But like the people that you're buying from, like when you think about Chewy, like they're in the middle of Florida. So half of the stuff is in a warehouse. So you're
Yeah.
talking about kibble food, you're talking about bones, like anything that
And
it could be.
they can eat around the cardboard. That's
They're
the
so
thing. Like,
they're so
yeah.
disgusting. I was like, please just, yeah. So I keep everything in the plastic containers or Ziplocs now.
Yeah.
Like, even if I'm not going to open it, it goes right in the Ziploc until I open it. Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm
Plastic,
like,
glass, that
but
stuff.
he said even I used to go to Publix and I get myself flowers because nobody else does. So it was like a nice thing I did for myself. And I was like, I'm treating myself nice today. And I would set them up on the counter. Bugs in the house. And I'm like, where are all these little gnats coming from? Where are all these little and so like sometimes we bring them in not knowing because they're like little, stowaways in our flowers. Even the flowers
Now,
that
I
you
want to
grow
say
inside.
we have this on the website, True Cost of Paradise, .heathersellsunshine.com. So every podcast you have, you update the PDF guide, right?
Yep. And the guide for this week is it's the whole checklist
of what to do if you're relocating here from when you have pets. So I wanted to make sure that we highlight that because if you go to True Cost of HeatherSellsSunshine.com, there's tons of information in here. I'm looking at relocation solutions, book a call, your free guide. It's awesome. There's a lot of information here. And then I have a thing, like I have this thing where it might be backwards, but it says, where can I shop with my pet? And I have Flagler County Pet Guide. Anybody wants anything like this, let me know. I can send it over to you because when you're actually here, there's places that you can take your pet with you. A lot of people like how their pets with us.
Yeah.
The other thing is I get asked all the time about like where we can eat with our pet. So of course, everywhere in Florida, it's different, but here in Flagler County, there's a couple spots, and then I get asked a lot, like, so when you're relocating, sometimes, you might need to have somebody come and watch your dog for, or your cat or something like that. So we have a lot of different recommendations, like Pam, the pet nanny. She travels too. So to watch your dog or,
your house, which is like what a lot of people like.
Yes. Yes.
And
then there's like
availability.
There's Palm Coast Pet Sitters. If you just want somebody to come and walk your dog, like if you're working, she can come and walk your dog. Then there's Alex with Love Dogs Mobile Grooming. She, because like my dogs, they get freaked out to go to the groomer. Yeah. So I've had Alex come and she can just bathe them, cut them, everything right in her big van, at our house. So it's a lot easier. But like in the Flagler Beach, we can't, not everywhere can have a dog. It has to be north of 10th Street. So not everywhere in Flagler Beach, you can bring a dog. So that stuff is helpful. And then I think you wanted to mention before we're done, but about HeartGuard, right? Because a lot of people know how important that is, and that's important because of all the bugs here. Yeah.
So when I was moving here, I think that my dog, I got to put my glasses on because I'm going to read some stuff to them. But I think that my dog was on the HeartGuard, but you cannot have a dog that is not on HeartGuard in Florida. They'll get heartworms.
Yeah.
But some of the requirements, like to go over the state line, is like the rabies vaccination. And then if you're moving from somewhere that you need to quarantine your animals, So the report that we're giving you this week, the free one, is super important depending on where you're moving from. But you want to start booking out your vet appointments. And do you have vets on that list that you're giving away, Danielle?
Yeah, I have two. Obviously there's more than that, but East Coast, the one that works with Caroline a lot, they're amazing. And then I have Community Animal Clinic. That's the one I've been using for like 20 years, but there's a lot, even Flagler Animal Hospital. There's a lot of good vets. I don't know who you use. Who do you use?
I use Salty, but the important thing is listen, you have to find a vet. I go to Salty, and the South Wind is good too. Up they're off of Belterre, up by the E section and the public shopping center. But the thing that's important, no matter who you go to, is the questions that you need to ask them when you're getting ready to come down here is like, how do they handle emergencies? Because I had a vet on Long Island that was amazing, and I never knew how. I knew how amazing he was, but the vets work different here. They don't really handle emergencies. So you have to go to an animal hospital if it's after hours or on the weekends. So you want to ask their hours, like, are you open on Saturdays? Like, at least Sunday, like most people are closed, but you want to know where the animal hospitals are in Flagler or in Volusia. There's just cat animal hospitals where you bring the cats to in Volusia. There's a bunch of different dog ones in St. Augustine. There's one new one here in Flagler on 100 that's related to the one in Volusia. But you have to have your plan.
Have they opened yet?
Are they open? We saw them when they were in their little van outside. So I think they're actually inside. I think they are open now, but
Is that the one like by Winn-Dixie?
It's in Winn-Dixie. And
yeah,
the thing that you have to remember, and you have to always be like cognizant of, is if you're leaving your dog outside and it gets bit by a snake, you literally have like less than a minute to act on it. And you have to call your vet, and you have to say, if you see the snake and you're lucky enough to get a picture of the snake, because sometimes the dog will like bite the snake too, so it will like kill it. So you're lucky enough if you know what snake it is. But if you don't know what kind of snake it is, you need to remove the collar off your dog and get it in the car and get to your vet right away, or the emergency place, because your dog will die. And I don't mean to sound so harsh, but you need it's very important. So most of the vets don't carry all of the venom stuff. So
yeah,
with the moccasin snake, it doesn't matter how quick you get your dog there. And then there was a case where a woman's dog she thinks it got bit by the snake. There was like no marks really on her dog, but she found the snake. Like there was like an incident of the dog and the snake fighting. So she took it to the vet, and they gave it one thing of venom, but there's a whole process. Like it's thousands of dollars if your dog gets bit by a snake, because you have to keep it on the venom for a certain amount of time or something. I don't know the specifics of it, but just ask your vet all these questions and pick the right vet. Ask their availability. Everybody's backed up here because so many people are moving here, but crates and IDs for your dogs because of hurricane season. Not the regular metal crate, but like the travel size crate. Like if you have to leave your house because of the storm, your dog will be allowed to go with you, but they're going to have to be crated in the travel crate. So all those things are important. Like some dogs, my dog will never go in a travel crate. She's afraid of it. So you have to kind of train them. Like when we did training, the place was like, you need to have your dog trained to go in the crate, because if you're staying in a gym somewhere and you evacuated, all the dogs are in a different area in their crates. So you don't just like go stay somewhere with your dog, but then there's flying and all that. And what's the other thing?
And they have to, a lot of, I don't know if all, but a lot of the places for evacuation, they want your pets up to date on their vaccines.
Yeah.
So that's always something. And I'll so you can get all your vaccines from your vet, but Flagler, Humane Society, Volusia, and there's a couple like mobile shot clinics. You can get vaccines from them, and there it can be quite a bit cheaper than your vet. So
Tractor Supply.
yeah,
They
they have
have
their,
like
and then
a monthly, I think.
Saturday, every Saturday at
Oh, it's
Flagler
every
Humane
Saturday?
Society. Yeah, they have it goes from starts at like 9, and they only do 100 people. But if you go, you're going to be there a while.
Yeah.
But the cost is like a third of what you would spend at the vet. So, but you do want to have your vaccines up to date. At least rabies, I think. At least rabies is like, I mean, your decision to do more, but I think the main one is rabies for sure.
Yeah, you definitely need the rabies, and that has to be like you can't take your dog anywhere without it. Like if you want to go to the dog bar, if you want to go to any kind of like pet sitting service, like they all want to see the records.
Yeah.
And rabies has to be just put it on your phone, like make a folder for your dog and just put their records on your phone. But it's super important to just really know what your dogs need. When I drove down here, which was a 17-hour drive, and my dog got very, very sick when we got here because he was dehydrated. I didn't know. So make sure that you pack water for your dogs. Like, and it's like 1 ounce per pound for each of your animals. So make sure they have enough of their water that they're used to. And then I like the Essentia water. It's like the true alkaline water. So whenever my dog got sick, I would give him that and he would just like snap right back up. But he got sick. Like I thought he was going to die when we got here. No joke. Like he was like listless, just laying there. He was throwing up. He was dehydrated and I didn't know because the long drive. So like you try to not give them water when you're driving so you don't have
right, because then they have to pee. Yeah.
So then I went back and forth. Like I used to go back there like every month and I would always pack the Essentia. Like that's what I gave him when we drove because it was just better water. But the water is different here. And quite honestly, I don't give my animals water out of the sink or the hose.
Yeah.
Like it's not that kind of lifestyle here.
I do.
Yeah.
I give them water out of the sink.
Yeah. My cat years ago got very sick.
But I hear it's different because you're in Flagler Beach. I hear that the water is different in Flagler Beach versus City of Palm Coast. I don't know if that's true. But.
Well, it is true. We're both two different water plants, but Palm Coast, I mean, you guys are constantly having like yellow water. So like every time I was up there at like Doc's house, I was like, all right, we're on water shut off again, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even drink it. I have the water machine. I filter all my water right through my little Berkeys and that's it.
Yeah.
So I just, you just have to pay attention to your animals when you get down here because it truly is a different environment. And if you think you're going to just like let them out, like my dog hung out in the backyard like his whole life up on Long Island. There was nothing there. Like turtles would maybe cross, the little box turtles, but there's stuff here that can seriously like harm them. And don't let them just jump in the water behind your house and go swimming because they will get eaten if an alligator's in there. No matter
don't
what.
Do that.
I had a client that was walking her lab-sized dog. It was a lab, so it was a big dog. And there is up by the golf course by Ocean Palm in Flagler Beach. And years ago, it was like the second day that they moved into their house, and they went for a walk. And the dog saw the alligator and jumped in the water to go after it, and the alligator ate it. Yeah. So, and she 10 years later told me the story and was still crying. And I was crying. I was like, that is the most horrific story that I ever heard. Because like the firemen, like she said, that guy came with like the dually truck and like the long back. The alligator was half hanging over his truck. That's how big it was. So when they get that big, they will like relocate them. But it was a very big alligator and it ate their lab-sized dog. So you're talking like 60-pound dog.
Yeah.
which is very,
So just
very
steer
sad.
clear. Don't feed alligators. When people like, they're not pets, they're just not, they're not your friend. Don't feed them. Because then that just attracts them, and we want them to have some fear of us as humans, because we don't domesticate alligators. So yeah.
Yeah. And then
But
it's
yeah, so that the checklist is amazing, super, super helpful. So definitely download that. We'll share it more on our pages, and then reach out to us for I have other ones for the where can I shop with my pet is just a generic one anywhere, but then I do have one specifically for Flagler. So
is it like stores that you can go into with your pet?
yeah, so there's like Michael's, Hobby Lobby,
Oh, Michael, that's
Ross.
one. That's cute.
Yeah. Tanger outlets in the outside.
Yeah.
Pet supermarket, obviously.
Yeah.
Tractor Supply. So yeah.
Yeah. All the pet ones. When it's raining, we'll go to PetSmart and walk around, and I'll
Walk around
on the bone and just, because when it's raining here, it's like, you're like, oh my God, my dog's going crazy. Like, you have to think of like games to play with your dog in the house to get the energy.
Especially if it's like a hurricane, and then that's another one to, like to get, because they won't, you can't really let them outside and during a hurricane. So I've had some people like bring in like they have like pee pads, or like little patches of grass to go potty on.
Yeah.
I haven't done that,
and the hurricane pack is on the list too. So you could, like, when you pack your tote for the hurricane, you're going to pack your
oh yeah.
So
awesome. That's great.
It's all just little things, but get with a vet like way before you move here. And some vets aren't taking new clients and some are, but
I don't know if mine is, but
yeah,
there are a list of,
Realty was because they added another vet. So, if they add,
I think vets, East Coast is, but that's a good profession to get into is a vet.
I know. If you're going to school, or if you have kids going to school, tell them to be a vet if they're going to come.
Yeah, for real.
But no matter what you do, it's busy. Dog walk, pet sit, vet. There's so much needed because everybody has animals.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you can take them on the beach, be leashed. The other thing I wanted to mention too was you want to have your dog chipped, and you get a tractive device. Like, don't be cheap. Get a GPS for your dog. When they get out, it's scary for them. And all Smart does is the Saving Missing Animals Rescue Team.
Yeah.
He's out in the woods at 3 a.m. looking for people's dogs. So, oh, hello, Axel.
Like, speaking of, you said tracking. So Axel has.
Does he have the tractive? What is it?
He has. It's an Apple.
Oh, it's an Apple one? The AirTag?
The AirTag.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's I can track him on my phone, and this is waterproof. So if he gets wet or if it's raining.
Does it matter that, because I have tractive and Lily ate Selah's tractive device. So I'm like, maybe we'll just do the AirTag, but the reviews were like, if they get lost in an area where there's not high signals, like in the middle of the woods, you won't be able to ping it. So that's the only thing I was worried about, because I'm like a helicopter.
Yeah.
I need to know where she is. Not that I've ever used it, knock on wood, but you don't want to be the person that lost their dog on social media, because this neighborhood will tear you apart.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Why are you people not watching your dogs? Like, my dog doesn't like poop without me knowing where she is, because I'm just like, like helicopter above her wherever she is. But that's how you're supposed to be, because I even my other dog, like, he was older, so he just would go outside and stand there and smell the air. But I didn't let him be outside by himself, because I was once I saw all the snakes, I was like, no, not on my dime, not on my watch,
So we have, the other thing we're going over, but the other thing to mention is,
it's okay. We're talking about dogs.
Right. To not leave them outside, and not have them a way to get in or to have shelter because it gets so hot.
Yeah.
There were like a couple, there's, and don't leave them inside without AC.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
don't
don't
leave them in
leave
a garage.
Yeah, like the rule is do not leave them. The pavement right now it's 11:47. The pavement's probably like 140 degrees if you step on it. So if you can't step on it, your dog can't step on it. I was just gonna say something when you said that. Whatever you just said, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Leaving them because what
Oh,
happened, like the
the air
certain dogs,
quality.
especially, yeah, and certain dogs, especially like the ones with the smushed in faces more, like the Frenchies and
Yeah,
whatever, the bulldogs, the humidity is so thick that
yeah,
they really can't be outside that long. There was a something that I heard that they hadn't really left them outside for very long, but they died because they couldn't breathe.
so
And then having like a garage.
yeah.
What?
They just didn't know, it's
Yeah. And then either like some people are like, oh, well, I put my dog in the garage or something like during a hurricane or something, but don't do that if there's not airflow or there's not an AC because it's too hot. It's just
yeah,
too hot, and the humidity is too thick. We have it in our house. We have like an indoor outdoor, and but we only have it open like for the dogs to go in and out when we're home.
yeah,
So, and I have four, and our whole backyard is fenced in.
yeah.
So our dogs go in and out if we're home. Our dogs go in and out all day. But when we're gone, that door gets shut and they stay in the house.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that to be, because people like, oh, well, I'm just going to rush out or go grab, do a quick errand and leave their dogs outside. And that isn't a good idea because of the stuff that is outside sometimes, or because of the heat is just not. Same with the cars.
Yeah.
Do not leave your dog in a car.
Yeah.
If you do, I know like some of those Teslas and stuff, like they stay on, and it actually, like somebody told me, it puts like a thing on the window, like it's okay, my pet's okay, the car is on. If I
Yeah.
have to run in somewhere, I leave my the car on with the AC, and I go back and check, to make sure. But anyway, please do not leave your dog or kid or anything in a car in
Yeah.
Florida without it being on with the AC, because it is not good.
They
Not good
won't
at
be
all.
there when you get back.
Yeah.
It
There was
depends on
a
how long you're going to be in there, but I leave my car running, and
yeah.
apparently there is a legal code in Florida that you can't leave your car unattended running. So I'm like, well, how do I do this then? Like, listen, when it's this hot, I don't take them out with me, but they run errands with me, like when it's different temperatures and different
Yeah.
seasons, because I get them out of the house and they love it. Plus, they're my little assistants.
Yeah.
So Sayla has to do her marketing work for me, but I'll run errands and leave them in the car, and I will leave the fob in there. And I'm like, how can I lock it? And I tell them if anybody comes in, growl at them so they're scared. But I think they roll their eyes at me,
So
But
I'm not sure of that code or whatever.
yeah,
I
somebody
have to ask.
posted it, like the actual code, like it was legit. Like I Googled it. I was like, wow. I was like, I didn't know that.
I only know of if they're in the car and it's not on, and they're in distress.
Yeah.
That that's illegal, and you can call the police, or you can actually break the window and get them out.
Yeah. It's illegal both ways, so it's weird. But the other thing that I want to mention, only because we were up at 4 a.m. going to the bathroom today, I went outside my door and all I smelled was smoke. And I figured, because all the building that's going on here, and the parks too, they do like burns, like scheduled burns
Oh yeah.
to
Yeah.
take care of things. So I thought it was either a builder or, they were doing a burn somewhere. you couldn't breathe. It was like smoky outside and you couldn't breathe. And when I checked my weather today with the air rating, it was extremely low. So like we didn't walk this morning because of it. So you want to pay attention to those things because you will smell smoke here a lot. And it will maybe just be like a burn thing that they're doing at the park. It's, prescribed, or it's a builder that's burning, but it changes the quality of the air. So now you have the humidity and then you have the lack of the air from the smoke. That was an actual fire in Volusia that was going on, but it was bad. Like I when you like sit at a bonfire and your hair smells.
Yeah.
I went to bed and I was like, I still smelled it. So it was bad and it was smoky. So there's just a lot of things that you have to really be more aware of for your animals. And if you have issues with your dog, all the emergencies, like the vets just handle vet care. They don't really handle emergencies. So if you need to get, sonograms or the endoscopy, or, if your dog has cancer, like you're traveling to, other places that are further away. But it's just a little different here. But we love them. And I always say with the beach, it's because when I first got here, I didn't remember like which part of the beach they weren't allowed on. So I'd always be like, your dogs, I tell people now, your dog's a 10. So it's like outside of the 10th so that you remember, But Naughty is right at North 10th Street in Flagler Beach. So you can go in there and, get some stuff. But that's like a nice little marker because it's like a pet place.
Oh, good to know. Yeah.
But they have fun on the beach. And then if you don't leash them, you pretty much will be on some social media page from somebody who's an animal hater, posting a picture of your dogs living their best life, having a great day. And then like everybody rips that person apart. But people are afraid of dogs.
What are they called? Keyboard warriors. So I don't really like them. I don't like keyboard warriors. Like,
that looks like the most fun. This picture made me smile more than anything. Like, who wouldn't smile at a dog running in waves on the beach? But
I think the big thing is making sure that they have a good recall, right? So if there's something that is, and so if your dog doesn't have a good recall, then don't do that, But if they listen to you, like Axel, the one I just showed, I would do that. I mean, but my other dog, like I couldn't do that actually because he would just take off. And it just goes after the birds and you didn't listen at all. And then there's the road right there. So, gotta be.
With any of them. I'm too much because both of them, if they see a bird or a lizard, they don't,
Right. And then too, if you have an aggressive breed or a breed that dog that doesn't like other dogs or people, then that's not a good idea to do that,
Yeah, and people are responsible. I see them in the mornings, like their dog will be off leash coming towards me and they'll like put it on their leash. So like you just be aware of what's going on around you. But download the free PDF. It's a checklist. It has the ASPCA emergency number on there for poison control for pets, and you learn a lot of new stuff when you move to Florida. So it is paradise, but we're constantly learning new stuff here.
Well, and reach out to Heather or I too. And, we are big animal lovers, obviously. And if you can't find the answer, you need some help, we can help you too.
Yeah. Any day of the week.
Yes. So. Yes.
All right. So we will be back.
Get with us in our next one. We'll do our next, so we got to talk about what we're going to do. But anyway, that'll be in 2 more weeks.
Yeah, September 8th. And if you download the PDF, you'll get a reminder. So just download the PDF so you get reminders, and then you'll always know when we're coming to do this. And we will talk about
I'm going to download the PDF myself because that's good info, man.
Yeah, test out the SMS messages and the reminders for me, please. Make sure the funnel's running right.
Right. Yeah. Got it.
I always like to double check myself, but we love doing these. The next one, we do have a schedule. I just don't know what it is, but we're going to cover some more fun stuff.
I know we do. I don't have it pulled up. at the
Yeah.
moment.
But if you're thinking of moving here and you have questions and you want to know what they are, like reach out to us. Like feedback is the best thing that we can get, because then we'll cover it. We'll do a whole show on something if we keep getting the question enough.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's something in particular that you want to
Yeah.
hear, let us know.
Yeah, I love questions. They stir up the pot, and then you're like, oh, we have all this to talk about now, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And we have a group too, Relocation Central Florida. So you can always, join the Facebook group and then ask questions in there as well.
yeah,
So,
perfect.
all right.
Awesome.
This is a great guide. Everybody should definitely.
We went a little long today, but it was worth it because it was for the four-leggers.
Only for the pets. Anything
That's
for the pets.
We're ridiculous. It's okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day, everybody.